Well, if you're on the floor, I feel like that's probably the same.
Kaiji.
Kajii.
Kaiji. Okay, Kaiji. Okay. K. Okay, so like K. Okay. Gotta remember that.
Technically, Kaiji's also correct.
Kaiji.
My mom called me Cajun, so that's why I
Oh,
call
the
it.
Kaiji. Cool, the Kaiji. Alright, so we all good?
Yep.
Okay, we'll wait for Nate.
Hold on. Okay.
Wait for Nate.
Hydrate indeed.
I know.
That's right.
So much
to.
water.
Especially on walking out in the convention.
Yeah. You better hope you don't have to pee throughout this entire.
Alright, we have half an hour.
Well, I'll be fine.
Alright,
We'll be fine.
so you good, Dalton?
Yep.
You fired up?
Yep.
Alright, so we'll start in 3. Hello everyone, welcome back to another interview at Kumoricon 2022 with the California Conventions blog. My name is Matthew. I have Nate over here. I have Levi and Dalton's behind the camera. And we are here with Kajii Tang.
Hello, how's it going? Happy to be here.
Very cool. So to start us off, I wanna know how you feel as the voice of Gojo from Jujutsu Kaisen, voicing one of the most attractive male characters in anime right now.
Already starting it off on the back.
He's very pretty. He is very pretty.
Very pretty.
Yeah. No, it's a lot of fun. I mean, I've been voicing anime for about 15 years now, and he is definitely the first character that has made people call me father. It's definitely very interesting. He's a very fun character to inhabit, and I'm very appreciative of the opportunity.
Very cool.
So the character backstories in the Guilty Gear franchise are insanely wild, and Faust is no exception. He's a doctor who turned murderer, who learns then the truth, and then tries to seek redemption while saving others. How does that backstory play into voicing him throughout the series, like games like Xrd and then Strive?
Right. Xrd was the first time I was able to voice Dr. Faust. And back then, he was on his road to redemption, but he was having a much better time. He was a lot happier as a person. Through the events of Strive, I'm not sure how much I can give away, but if you play through the story, you'll see, especially now with the new DLC, it kind of shows how he went from that kind of happy-go-lucky personality into the kind of decrepit zombie state that he's in right now. It's actually really depressing. If you play the game, his idle animation, he'll pluck a flower and it dies on his hands and he'll cry about it. It's really sad. It's been a journey. Faust now has to go through this thing where he has to find a way back to that place. I'm really hoping the best for him, because by the end of Strive, I was just really sad and upset for the guy, Yeah. He always means well. He means the best, and he wants to cure and help people. I think that's very admirable. And I know he had this really horrific past that he's trying to get back from, and the events of Strive certainly didn't really help, towards the end. But in his own way, he helped everyone else, even though it kind of damned him into this kind of fugue state. So I'm rooting for him. I'm on his side, and I hope that whatever iteration of Guilty Gear comes next, he finds a path forward.
Yeah.
Now I look back in your IMDb, and I'm weirded out with this fact. You voiced a character named Tom Cat from the movie Tom and Jerry?
Absolutely.
Oh my god. So how was it like voicing a classic character like Tom Cat?
Well, okay, so let's get super specific about it, right? So Tom and Jerry, it came out, I think it was 2020? It was, or
around 2020, yeah.
Yeah, so what had happened was, I went in to lay down what's called a scratch track for Tom and Jerry. So basically what a scratch track is they have a voice actor come in and they have you basically do the movie, right? Voice the movie, lay down the entire thing, and then I believe they were gonna have someone come in and lay down another track on top, and mine was supposed to be the guidepost, right? I'm not quite sure who they had in mind, but when the movie released, I saw it, it didn't end up happening. It was 85% my voice still, with 2 Wilhelm screams, right? Added in.
Yeah.
So in essence, yes, I voiced Tom, but I could never go to a convention and be like, yes, I'm the voice of Tom, because technically I did only voice the scratch track. And if you look in the credits of the film, Tom and Jerry are played by themselves.
They don't actually specifically say your name.
Yeah, and then all the way down under additional voices, you'll find me and the actor who voiced Jerry.
Oh, wow.
in the movie. So while it is mostly my voice in that film, I still can't say like, yeah, I'm the voice of Tom. Hollywood.
That's just how, I guess that's how Hollywood works, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's still crazy of how the conception of actually having to voice a classic character like Tom.
Yeah. I mean, it was like a lot of work too. You go in and, you know, Tom, there's a lot of physical comedy, so you're screaming all the time, and the screams last 3 or 4 seconds at a time, you know, so it was like, yeah, it was a workout. So yeah, that was, I mean, I'm not sorry I did it. It was a really fun experience, but yeah, man, additional voices.
Yeah, just be a part of that. I guess that works.
I think every now and then everybody gets an opportunity to scream within their voice acting career, so I'm pretty sure it's a nice release.
It was. Yeah, I don't know about 4 hours out of time, but it was.
Oh,
for sure.
Oh, wow.
Jeez. Maybe not that much, but oh my god.
So within the Fate franchise, you're like, for example, Fate Stay Night, Fate Grand Order, Fate Apocrypha. You're known as Archer from the series. Because each Fate iteration is so different from one another, were there any changes you had to go through when voicing the same character from like a different version or iteration of like a Fate series?
Yeah, I mean, like, first of all, I was like a pretty big Fate fan from before I even started voice acting, right? So I actually played the original visual novel.
Yeah, I was hoping you would say that.
Way back in the day. So I was very familiar with the 3 specific paths, right? And the main path, as it were, is kind of like the Archer superhero path where he does all the cool stuff, like versus Hercules and all that. Where I came into the series was the Unlimited Blade Works path, where it was the very nihilistic version of Archer, who went back in time to take himself out. You know, it's interesting because all 3 paths, such different events occur that Emiya Archer's kind of plans for what he wants to do with Shiro and how he wants to sort of like reverse time and take himself out can be implemented in varying degrees. So in Unlimited Blade Works, we see the culmination of his like plan, right?
Yeah.
Unlimited Blade Works is exactly what he wants to get done. Spoiler, doesn't go the way he wants, but like in the 3rd one, I'm sorry, it was called Heaven's Feel. Heaven's Feel. Right. Heaven's Feel, it takes such a dark turn so early that the character basically has to abandon everything he had planned. And in fact, there's even like a line in the movie, I think, where he's like, okay, well, what I wanted to do was out the door, so like, let's change course. So it's not too hard to sort of pivot from his original ideals since things changed so drastically. But I did really enjoy getting to sort of walk through the paces with him during Unlimited Blade Works to see like exactly what the character was intending on in both other paths. Yeah. It's just, you know, various events occurred and he could not accomplish his plans.
Okay. So you voiced a pretty interesting character in the hit video game Fire Emblem Awakening. As Owain, how was it like voicing a theatrical person pretty like him, you know? I
mean, it was great. It was Owain is every theater kid at heart, I feel like, and as someone who did a lot of theater, you know, I've met plenty of Owains in my life, so there was plenty to draw from. The musical way he would, you know, he shout his attacks, like you saw that kind of behavior all the time on stage. So he was and is an absolute joy to voice every time I come across him. You know, sometimes they bring him back now for the phone game Fire Emblem Heroes.
Yeah, for Fire Emblem Heroes.
Yeah. And they always like, I think he was the first character in that game to have a voice file trail off. You know, like if you click on him, he starts speaking, and at some point the file runs out, and he's still speaking. Oh, you know,
wow!
It was really fun to do.
Talk about tiring a monologue, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know about that either, actually. About the whole track just like ending up and you can still hear him.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. He's such an earnest boy, and like I really savor every opportunity to voice Owain. So, you know, Nintendo, if you're watching, bring back our boy.
Yeah, bring back our boy. Yeah, let's see if we get more outfits for Fire Emblem Heroes.
That's right.
Another question. All the memes that have popped up for Owain, did you see like any of them? Like, can you like explain to me like have any favorites?
Oh yeah. There was this hilarious one I saw because I also voiced the character of Detective Pikachu in the original 3DS game. So someone made this meme of Odin, who is, spoiler, it's so Wayne. Odin, he's a mage and he's casting this lightning magic, and in his hand, instead of a tome, he's holding Detective Pikachu. That was the funniest thing out of that entire era
great.
that I saw.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I just keep on seeing a lot of memes, especially for Fire Relevant stuff like that. The fandom is just crazy sometimes.
It's a great fandom, yeah. Agreed.
Right.
Me?
Yeah.
You guys want me to do that one?
Yeah, so kind of like that's a follow-up.
Cool. So you brought up Detective Pikachu. So you voiced Detective Pikachu in the game, and for a moment you confused us because we looked it up and we thought that it was the movie. So how would you feel if you had gotten to collaborate with Ryan Reynolds or like on that film?
I mean, I think honestly they made the right choice. I mean, Ryan Reynolds puts a lot of butts in seats, and he did a pretty good job.
Right.
His Detective Pikachu made me laugh a lot. I mean,
sorry,
go ahead.
Just because I have to ask, what did you think of the fan cast of Danny DeVito?
Oh, I thought it was perfect. I was as devastated as anyone when they went with me instead of Danny DeVito. You know what I mean? So, actually, interesting story. Like, after that meme came out of Danny DeVito voicing this character, I got the audition for Detective Pikachu. I sent him 2 versions. I sent him one version where it's like, okay, this is the way I would sort of do it, in my voice. And then I sent them this. I sent them this guy. It's like, hey, hey, here's a version with the DeVito. Hey, they cast me off of that version, which is why he sounds that way in the game.
That's so funny.
So yeah, if you think about it that way, yeah, we did sort of get DeVito.
Right.
So speaking of voices, one of the voices that you have done is Guts in Berserk, but unfortunately it's the 2016 version,
right.
the version that people hold in low regard compared to 1997 version.
That's right.
So a lot of people when they want to just put out the displeasure, they're going to go to the first one they see, and a lot of people what they see is the voice actor. So do you get any flack for being part of that project?
I actually don't.
Okay.
I think at this point a lot the conversation between me and Berserk fans is one of good humor, because here's the thing, when that first came out, the animation style, the CG stuff was in its infancy, right? No one knew where it was going. They just knew that, hey, this looks kind of ugly, and oh man, is this where anime is going, right? But now you look at stuff like Chainsaw Man.
Oh
Right?
yeah. Oh, my God.
Same types of animation, just better, right?
Yeah.
So Berserk 2016 crawled, so Chainsaw Man could run.
That makes
It kind of makes sense.
You really need
Yeah, but
it.
you hear about that because
Yeah.
you're comparing the two.
Yeah.
Chainsaw Man definitely is
Exactly.
takes the cake for sure.
Yeah, miles better. Beautiful to watch at this point, right? They've gotten so good at that animation, they need to start somewhere.
Right.
No one was good at it back then.
Right.
So yeah, I look at Berserk 2016 as sort of like the womb which spawned all these later iterations of the CG art, which by the way, is so much cheaper to create that all these other shows had the opportunity to sort of spawn from. So yeah, Berserk 2016, not the prettiest to look at, but absolutely vital to the landscape of anime as it stands today.
Yo, that is wow! I never thought about that.
Yeah. It's actually a really important show.
Yeah. Because you would think other shows like Knights of Sidonia, for example, where that's okay, the CG's a little tad off, and then of course you talk about Berserk 2016, and then all of a sudden now we get Chainsaw Man. I'm like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, they had to go through a lot of stuff to get good. You know?
You gotta start somewhere,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, as somebody who grew up watching Reboot in the 90s, it's whoa, we got from here to Chainsaw Man.
Yeah, exactly. There has to be an infancy stage.
Yeah, might shed some light on some different opinions about how the 2016 iteration of it.
Yeah, that was there.
Yeah, so they'll probably take it in a better light instead of immediately trash.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
Though the hot lid clanging noise was hilarious, I will say. That was amazing.
Okay, so I have to bring back an anime that's dear to my heart. Anohana.
Oh man.
We're going to a sad moment.
Yeah, I'm getting ready. Tear ducts.
So the anime really tore me up after watching it, knowing that you voiced Popo in the anime. How was it in the recording studio, especially from dubbing lines that were really heart-wrenching, you know?
Oh, it was really devastating. I mean, like, you know, for those of you who haven't seen Anohana, I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but it's like, go watch it. Yeah.
Please do, because
have some tissues.
it is such a sad story.
Yeah, you're gonna get a lot of them, like maybe a box per episode.
Yeah.
It's and some ice cream. You'll need it.
It is masterful in its ability to make you feel things that, you know, will cause some tears. It was a trip. I remember at the beginning of the project, my director looked me right in the eyes. It's like, I'm gonna take you to a dark place. It was Patrick Seitz, right? He directed the show, so you know he's super deep bass guy. He's like, Kaiji, I'm gonna take you to a dark place. I'm like, oh, Patrick, jeez.
Usually when you hear that, you're like, is this good or bad?
Yeah, it's just like, okay. But yeah, by the end of that show, when Popo has, you know, I'm not going to spoil too much, but when Popo has the big breakdown at the end of the show, that was real. That was me crying in the booth. It was, we did it in 1.5 takes. The skeleton of the meat of it, most of it was done in the first take, and then there was like very small things we had to adjust, you know, for that little part of the show. But yeah, we were all really happy with it. Sometimes as an actor, you know, I make fun of method acting all the time, but like emotional recall is like really, really useful. Yeah. You just don't want to do it too much because, you know, then you need therapy.
Yeah. It's riding a very thin line.
Yeah. From professionalism to just self-abuse. So we tapped into that a little bit. I was really happy with the product and wouldn't do it again.
10 out of 10 would never do it.
Good to know Kajii Tang, whenever another sad anime comes in, he'll be like, I don't want to go through this trip again. No more emotions for me to show.
Yeah. And we're gonna move on to the final question, and we're gonna kick it back into high gear so that we're not sad anymore. we're gonna talk about Kill la Kill, and one of the characters you voiced specifically for Nudist Beach. In
Tsumuku Kinagase, yeah.
So how does it feel to be voicing that, knowing like how crazy Kill la Kill is, from like the action to like this insane like nudity that's on display?
Well, Kill la Kill was such an interesting show because on the surface, right, if you just sort of glance at it, you're like, oh, it's a fan service show. You know, people are naked everywhere, but like, and this sounds so weird to say, but like if you sit down and watch it, the nudity and the fan service is actually pivotal to the story. That sounds absurd, but it's true. It's like there can be no Kill la Kill without the fan service. It's the entire point of the story. Again, it's so hard to say without like spoiling it. But just know that there is an absolutely vital reason all these people are naked. There is an absolutely vital reason that they're showing just so. I know it sounds ridiculous.
Out of context, it definitely sounds bad.
Yeah, out of context, it sounds ridiculous, right? Like my character literally is like the poster boy for anti-clothing propaganda in that show. You know, he straight up is like, yeah, pants are evil. What like?
No shirts, get out of here.
Completely agree.
Yeah, so I actually, and this is, you know, I usually, if someone tells me, like, I don't really like fan service on the show, I'd be like, all right, don't watch it, right? Yeah. But like, I still recommend this show to people who don't enjoy fan service because the story's great. Yeah. Once you're in there a few episodes and you understand the plot and you're like, oh, the life fibers and the clothes and okay. Then you're like, oh yeah, these people, they have to be naked all the time. It's vital. Yeah. It's vital that they're naked, you know?
I mean, when your entire power tree just consists of clothing at that point, you might as well just be like, okay,
yeah, it's really interesting, yeah.
It's
I
like
love that
show that fan service makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. I love that they wove it into the show. Wove, because clthing.
Yeah, life fibers, definitely.
Puns intended.
Yeah, the show was amazing though.
It's crazy.
So where can people find you?
Yeah, sure. So on Twitter, as it stands, as long as it still exists.
Everybody's saying that now?
Right. For now, at Kaiji Tang on Twitter. We'll see what happens in a week. But, you know. I'm also. You can find me on Instagram, Kaiji Tang, and I'm also on TikTok, Kaiji Tang. So yeah, give me a follow. We'll interact and we'll hang out.
All right. Awesome. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you guys.
We all have a good evening.
Absolutely. You guys too.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That was almost verbatim what our last interview told us.
Yeah. He literally said the same thing too. He said,
While
like,
it
I don't
exists.
know, I don't know
While
if
it
it
exists.
still
He said it was
exists.
like, if it exists in a week.
Yeah.
Give it a week, see what happens.
Oh yeah.